The young woman in the seat in front of me is still watching TV. Everything seems to be set at a hospital. I mean, doesn't she have headphones?
He's stable, but we have to get him to the OR, stat.
Honey, oh honey, I'm so sorry.
We'll take care of that. Please step away.
Oh honey, we're so lucky we got to the hospital just in time.
We are taking care of him. Please step away.
I wonder if luck is something that is consumed until it's empty. Like, is there a jar of luck for each life? One jar for every single one of us on the giant shelf at God's or fate's place. I like that idea. Imagine all the jars filled with miraculous luck. Some bubbling, some shimmering, some rotating. And suddenly there is an earthquake. The air is moving, the ground is howling, and the jars start to vibrate. They wander towards the edge of the giant shelf, tip over, and crash on the perfect mosaic floor, like Thomas Mother's Japanese vase. All those jars in 1,000 pieces. Giant waves of luck are released and swirl through the air, floating the whole place with sparkles. Except for this one jar. Yes, I think there is only one jar with my name on it. Harald, 55 years, Oslo. This one jar, my jar, has remained on the shelf. It remained just on the edge, as if by a miracle. My jar is completely intact. It might have been almost empty, but as the waves of luck flood fate's place, my jar gets filled with some, or let's say, a lot of extra luck. It gets filled to the brim with pulsating, vibrant luck. It's other people's luck, of course, but an earthquake and a miracle made it all mine. And so I survived cardiac arrest. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. I keep dancing on my own. I hope that doesn't mean bad luck for everyone except me. Oh, I mean, there was the pandemics. That kind of sucked for everyone, I've been told. I can't remember a damn thing about it.
Galle's parents are in their 70s. They have a tight relationship, a funny one, a caring, loving, frank relationship. This has been a hard place for me. It took me a long time to recognize it, but it has been a hard place indeed. They're wholesome, and they're close by. Instead, I'm incomplete, and the only family I have, Mom, lives far from me. For a while, the fact that Kalle had a nearby complete family felt really unfair. Yet eventually, at some point of our relationship, I made peace with it. When COVID hit, and we all nervously wondered daily about what was unfolding in front of us, Kalle decided to stop driving to visit his parents. He wanted to take precautions, he said, so they video called instead. He would speak with them in our bedroom, usually on the weekends, while I drew and drank tea on the sofa of our living room. He'd laugh a deep, beautiful laughter. He'd laugh a lot. I'd overhear them unintentionally. They'd comment on the news. Kalle would talk about his work. They'd send greetings to me. They'd even discuss books or a TV show his parents had watched. The feeling of unfairness that I had experienced at the beginning of our relationship, the whole of it returned. I didn't have a wholesome family to video call with. I had my wonderful mother, though. But yet, it bothered me. It triggered horrendous feelings in me. In fact, I was jealous of their laughter. I was envious of their closeness. I hated his father just for existing. And yes, everything bothered me. Kalle speaking in a bedroom bothered me. My mother on the other side of the screen bothered me. My friends nagging about being locked at home bothered me. Taking the dog religiously out 3 times a day to run in the snowy yard bothered me as well. The fucking trees bothered me. I watered my plants. I drew more than ever. We watched the news. I sent long voice messages to friends where I never mentioned my discomfort, but instead talked about nothingness, about air. They replied lengthily as well. I tried to numb the irritation by telling Kalle, I like that you speak with your parents often, even though all of a sudden it was hurtful to hear him. I told him as well, you're so handsome. And this one was true. He has a tiny mole on the left side of his upper lip, like a Cindy Crawford, young man with very blue eyes and dark hair. Like a Cindy Crawford with broad shoulders.
The man with the grey hair on the other side of the corridor is wearing a face mask. He's maybe a little older than me, but his belly is... I sit up a little bit straighter and check my belly in the reflection of the bus window. Fat is hanging over my belt. I pull down my woolen jacket to cover a bit of it. I'm checking back at the man's belly again. He's thinner than me. But he's already gone a bit thin on top, so I lead on points. Belly beats bald head. He's snoring and the mask has slipped under his nose. I wonder if he's afraid of COVID. Or maybe he tested positive. When I first woke up from coma, I assumed that masks and protective equipment was a common thing around patients like me. After some weeks I learned about COVID. I understood that governments had been keeping people inside, isolated for months. I understood that face masks had gone from being a rare thing on Asian tourists' faces to the most important accessory leaving the house in almost every country. I heard people were left dying alone, operations were postponed forever, healthcare workers were on overtime for 3 years straight. Wealthy countries were stockpiling life-saving vaccines, while poor countries were supplying the world with new mutations every few months. Half of the world's students stayed at home because of school closures. Millions of girls never came back. Billions of full-time jobs were lost. Inequality increased, poverty exploded. And who did ever care about green change anyway? Thousands were standing patiently in line for a vaccine that promised freedom. Others were holding violent demonstrations against it, praising the truth of conspiracy theorists. Touch me, how can it be? Believe me, the sun always shines on TV. Hold me. People were longing for their families, for the vaccine, for truth, for freedom. And I missed it. I completely missed out on the world's biggest common trauma since World War II. I just have no memory of it. Linda says it was dreadful and that I should be happy I forgot about it. But still, I long for the longing. I long for the shared experience. The world has stories. Everyone shares memories, but I mean the pandemics, at least, it makes good memories. It sure is something to remember.
The day I ended up sitting on the kitchen floor, sending a text message to my father, had been a day when I had cried a lot. This felt foreign to me, physically and emotionally, for I hardly cry. I don't remember crying when my father left, and I didn't cry when I saw my mother cry. I almost never cry if I miss her. I wouldn't ever cry for a job, and I comfort my friends as they sob. I feel for them. They do not comfort me in return, because there's nothing to offer comfort about. I am strong in every sense. I draw when I am sad. I read. I run. I move my body. I take a shower. I breathe. I am a tower. I am my best friend. I am my comfort. But on that day, finally, I cried. Summer had just started and restrictions had been lifted, for the time being. The loneliest, most silent spring of COVID's first wave had come to an end. Kalle was delighted at the prospect of visiting his parents weekly, driving there, bringing food, finally being inside the same kitchen sharing a meal, sitting in the same living room watching a movie. What a nuisance, I said, referring to the drive, even though it was no longer than 20 minutes. I don't know why I said that. Or, of course I know. I was unable to control the feelings inside me. The world opens up again and there he goes, to his wholesome, happy family. And here I stay, still abandoned by my father.
Aren't you visiting your mom?
He asked out of the blue, guessing the cause of my bad mood. I guess so, I replied without even looking at him.
You're being really mean.
He let me cry that day.
I understand,
he said, reading between the lines.
I understand,
he kept saying. It had accumulated inside me, I guess, the resentment and the sadness. But truly, he didn't understand. One can't understand what one hasn't lived. I could see him repeating more to himself than to me, like a mantra to make me silent.
I understand. I understand.
No, he did not. He just wanted me to shut up. He was uncomfortable at seeing me cry, and I thought, I must call Mom. She will get me. She will understand that even though I love her, I still, sometimes, when global pandemics give us relief, I still think of my father. It's 5 p.m. I love this time of the day. The bus moves softly towards Luleå, and it's not raining anymore. Instead, the light outside is fierce. Bright, powerful, daring, inundating every single tree. I notice only now that my cheeks are wet. I have been crying.
Kära passagerare. Om några minuter når vi Göteborg. Det här stoppet är vårt sista stopp. Tack för att du reste med oss. Jag önskar er alla en trevlig dag. Dear passengers, in a few minutes we will reach Gothenburg. This is our final stop. Thank you for traveling with us. I wish you a pleasant day.
I take another sip from the ginger bottle, then pack it into my trolley. It will be good to leave this bus behind and seat 13A between the TV show and the toilet. Actually, I could use it right now. But the smell is so horrible. I'll use the restroom on the train. I take down my coat. I have to check if I have... Where's my... Oh, there it is. My wallet, my keys, my phone. Oh, another one from Linda.
I love you.
Phone, keys, wallet. Everything is where it's supposed to be. I am where I'm supposed to be. I'll be arriving in Gothenburg on my way to Stockholm, where I'm supposed to be. I already texted Taimi the arrival time of my train and where to meet. Everything's just fine. A picture. Maybe I should send her a picture so she can recognize me. At least the belly doesn't show. Should I have smiled more? And the picture is slightly out of focus. Behind me the window of the bus and a roller coaster. I turn around. Is there an amusement park close to the train station? I watch a snake-like little train carrying its passengers slowly uphill, preparing to throw them head first into the giant roller coaster in a few instants. Did I ever take time to a park? Did we ever scream out loud together in a roller coaster? Did we ever get on a big wheel, laughing about the tiny ant people on the ground, enjoying the miniaturization of all thoughts? Or did she inherit my mother's fear of heights? Finally, this has to be the train station. Wallet, keys, phone. The picture. For you to recognize me. Okay, I'll have to get my trolley. The young woman who sat in front of me rises up, grabs her backpack. She reminds me of... Yes, that's it. Her long face reminds me of Cher. Oh, I was looking at her just a bit too long. She raises her chin and gives me an arrogant look in return. Only young people can be that superior. I bet life seems easy to her. Most young people feel they have figured out exactly how to live life, how to avoid all the stupid choices. They know either precisely how to get rich or why money doesn't have an impact on their life at all. Young people's confidence and their wisdom are amazing. Until you realize that shit happens all the time. You'll just have to make the best out of it.